It's been 12 months since acquittal, and so much has passed us by. Such as tampering with evidence, and some blatant flat-out lies. Special new PROSECUTOR, and Hank Brennan is his name. He is a dirty Boston lawyer, and his arguments are lame. He's trying to squash all of our experts, as he has no case to claim. He should have won an Oscar medal to convince the court he's sane. He can lie without a conscience and keep that smirk upon his face. I bet he wears those silky undies, the ones with that jean made of lace. And Judge Beverly Academy is so biased for the state, is wading through 100 motions in a rush to seal my fate. So you can bring in Massachusetts, cause we all ain't got no quit. And we all know that the truth is my car is not the thing John hit.
Hello. Good morning. Did you all have sound with that intro? Because I only got the last 2 seconds of it. I think you all had it. I think it was the settings on my... I've been playing around today and disconnected it from my earphones. So it was probably just me. You know, that happened. So welcome. Here is another stream. Sorry, Tricia. Surrounding the Karen Reid trial. I just felt like I needed to get on and say something about the approach. Hello, my darling. Welcome. And welcome everyone else. For the replay crew, for Ron later on. And I know that I'm, no one special. I am no one educated in the law. I am no one well versed in any of it. But I can spot bullshit a mile away. Okay? That's one of my skills. My bullshitometer is off the Richter. And I don't like it because justice, I think, can only be served in an honest fight. Hence the words within my intro for my own, for the defence rest. And it shouldn't be anything else. It shouldn't be anything other than honest. In my opinion, the job of a prosecutor, I mean, you look at the prosecutors in the Ashley Benefield trial. That was disgusting. Obviously biased, obviously judgmental. And this is taking it the step further. He complains that, if the defence pays for expert witnesses, then that automatically means that their report is biased to the defence. Well, where does he stand when he's been paid $225,000 incentives to be biased to the state? At the end of the day, that's exactly what's happened. There is plenty of other district attorneys on offer, available, but no. And that in itself rings alarm bells for me. Just the fact that had to occur shows me how deep they feel they need to dig their heels in. And it's all at the expense of poor John O'Keefe and Karen Reid. Because in my honest humble opinion, I do not for a second believe that those injuries were caused by a vehicle at all. So, and that's why Hank is going so hard at the ARCA witnesses, because he knows they're a threat, a massive threat. So that's where we'll start at as far as his strategy goes. So I dictated myself an email. That would be the quickest way to get my thoughts onto paper, and then I emailed it to myself and printed it out. And it was so small I couldn't read it. So I went in, saved it as a on my notepad on the computer, enlarged the font, and printed it out. And 5 minutes later, it's still printing. I'm like, what the fuck? What the? Yeah, I've got like a one-page thing that is now a 20-page readable transcript for me. Yeah. Good morning, Christine. How are you going? Did you have some issues on your stream yesterday? I came over and had a quick look last night, and yeah, but look how big the writing is. I think there's like 4 words to a line. Might have increased the font just a tad too much. Plus, then I had a dilemma, and it was a big one. And a decision had to be made, and it wasn't an easy one to make. I had to decide whether I was going to open these first or these first. And so I opened both of them. Decision made. So my objective today is pretty much there's so much bullshit out there. I want to bring it back down to reality and focus on what is the essentials, pretty much. And to me, it's what was the manner of his death? What caused his death? And it was blunt force trauma, as I said, to the back of his head, causing multiple skull fractures, hemorrhaging, and the small changes in his pancreas as well was evidence of hypothermia, which is more than understandable being out in the snow. But don't forget, when he was found, there was still no snow under him. There was grass. And it really didn't start snowing heavily until later on that afternoon, which is where you can see the depth of the snow when they go and retrieve Karen's car from Dighton. But at the time of them finding John's body, the patrol cars were driving. Yes, the roads had to be ploughed, obviously, because we've heard that they were. But they were still able to drive quite easily. The snow wasn't up to the rims like it was when they moved Karen's car out of the driveway of her parents' place. So, and that brought me to another thing I was thinking about today too, because I was thinking about because I'd watched the opening statements yesterday of the first trial again. I'm going to stream that as a sleep stream to refresh my memory, and I needed to record them anyway, so I can transcribe them. But I thought it was probably a good memory refresher for everyone. If you want to watch it, you can catch up, and then you'll have it fresh in your mind, and you'll be able to remember you'll be able to compare the testimonies between the two trials. But we have a little tool for that as well, which is going to be really exciting. Really exciting. So saying, nope, lost train of thought already. Jodie didn't get a lot of sleep last night because Jodie's neighbours were behaving rather bizarrely, really, really bizarre. Actually, I'll play it for you. This is what I had to listen to half of the freaking night. Speaking of listening to things, I rang my mother this afternoon, and she's profoundly deaf, bless her. And I'd rung her whilst I was watering the garden, and she missed my phone call. And then, just as I walked away to put the hose away, she'd rung me, and I had wet hands, so I had to go inside and dry off my hands and blah blah blah. Come back. By the time I rang her back, she answered, and I said to her, "Tag, you're it." Well, what, love? 5 minutes later, and about what was her shag your tits? What? No, mum. Tag your it. What? Shag your what? I can't understand you. It's your it's your it's the way you're speaking. It's your language. Mum. 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 Just no. Just no. Where is this recording? Nope. 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 Oh, is that it? Might be. No, it's not it. It's not far from it though. Oh, wow. I actually think I saved it as a file. Hang on. I did. Because I didn't renew my Ring subscription. So, wherefore art thou? I should actually blast it on the speakers. Is that it? Hey. Play. The fuck? Play. I did this before too. Why? Why? Try this one. It's hard to hear. We're trying to get her out of a vehicle, and I think she is highly under the influence of some drug. Oh. Yeah. All right. So you see this? They're actually dragging her. They're my neighbours. Yeah. I'm the rear unit of 2. So I'm hidden away in the back. So they have to get past, everyone has to go past their filthy, horrible, dirty, untidy pigsty to get down to my oasis. And voila, someone did a little bit of zhooting today. So yeah, I didn't get much sleep, so never mind. Shite happens, doesn't it? So, all right, let's start from the start of the essay, shall we? There's only one way to get through it. That's with curly snake. Uh-oh. Can't talk with caramel. Mm-hmm. Okay. Good one, Jodie. So, do you think that was really Rob Alessi yesterday? Because I did actually check his email, and it was a law firm email. And hello, how you doing? Sorry, I have a mouthful of caramel. Apparently the day prior, he was in Steve's chat and Miss Shorty's chat. Now, Miss Shorty didn't believe who it was him and pretty much brushed him off. But Miss Mandy was in the chat at Steve's when he popped into Steve's, and she apparently vetted him and got him to email her from his business email. And he did. So, and as I said, I dropped a little crumb of something that I knew that Aussie Insider had done. And when I dropped the topic, he actually came back and said, oh, she actually sent us that yesterday, and no one else would have known that. So it was just lucky that I happened to know it. Well, he didn't do anything unprofessional. He pretty much came in and said hi, and then said, I just need to make you all aware that I am under a gag order, so I won't be able to say a lot, pretty much. And we just all chatted to him. So there wasn't anything inappropriate. I certainly didn't want to address anything to do with the case because I didn't want to put that in jeopardy. And he seems like the type of person that wouldn't cross the line anyway. So for him to come straight out and say, gag order, can't say much, I respect that. So he wasn't after anything. I think he's just sussing out what Hank is all on about social media and how it's everywhere. Because he has been on a few. He's jumped into a few chats, apparently. Have you seen Miss Shorty's streams? She's a fellow Aussie in Melbourne here with me somewhere. I don't know where. I'm actually waiting on an email back from her because I sent her one about him, and I also sent her, she's done her own theme song for the trial as well, so I sent her my version. But she swears like a true. You think I swear? You think I've got a potty mouth? Holy crap! She's even got she's even got the channel emojis and stuff that are all swear words. She's a bloody scream. She says the C word and everything. No, good luck to her. Her channel, she can do what she likes. And she got a shit ton of followers when there was a controversy. Like, that's like, I'm not prepared to do it, but that's how a lot of people are approaching it nowadays. They create some kind of drama, whether it be real or fictional, or a good act. I don't know, but because it would not surprise me that Turtle Boy and Krusty Panties are working together just to boost their own ratings, to boost their numbers. But you bet my bottom dollar, the second that this trial is over, he'll be dumped on his ass. Absolutely dumped on his ass. His treatment, his phrasing, his actions, his behaviour, it's chauvinistic, it's arrogant, and he's let it go to his head. The other day he wouldn't even read out, I'm not reading anything out unless it's above for $5 super chat. He's like, you can go fuck yourself if you send yourself something under that. What the fuck, really? Okay. And he has only shot to fame because of his involvement as part of the early investigations going in this case. So, yeah, there's that. Oh, turtle boy, daddy, whatever you want to call him, whatever he calls himself nowadays. Yeah. All right. So I suppose I should get into this. What I think Hank has on his his war room wall, is pretty much something like this. Boom. So I believe his approach is not, let's find out the evidence that will prove our case. It's more, well, let's find the strongest evidence that the defense has and shit all over it, or try and withhold it, pretty much. And that includes Lally. Like, poor Lally has sat there and done fuck all, not said one word. It's almost like he's, nope, I'm here, I'm doing it, and you don't understand, and you haven't got the, you don't have the, you underestimate my sneakiness. Like, at least Lally was honest. Shit fighter, but at least he was honest. And as I said to Rissy before, I don't appreciate it, because I don't believe that justice can be served unless it's an honest fight, and it is far from that. Far, far, far from that, indeed. All right. Oh, shit, I really good caramel. So, in my humble and undereducated opinion, it's my belief that it's a prosecution's job to present a non-biased factual representation of evidence to the jury in order for them to measure evidence, to draw their own conclusions with the verdict, and weigh those as they see fit. Whereas Hank is sifting out only the bits that he wants, and that's lying by omission. And as the closer we get to the trial, the worse, or the more concerning it's becoming, for me anyway. And I think, I'll take this down. It's almost like he, it's a bit big, sorry. You know? He's more about the competition and the competitive nature of the litigation than than his concern for the defendant, pretty much. And I find a lot of his arguments are very hypocritical. One set of rules for him, one set of rules for everybody else, and some of them are even comical. Like, what was it? It was it was his argument about the Rule 14 violations with regards to the federal government not providing all the discovery material. And he's arguing to the judge that the Commonwealth weren't aware of all of the information that had been supplied to the federal government and what information they had to then give to the ARCA experts to evaluate. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, why is that? Why? Because they're investigating your investigation, you dickhead. They're not going to ring you up and go, by the way, we just got this evidence in against you, okay? Just let you know so that you've got it for discovery later. No. He didn't know that Unity had been subpoenaed to give all of his stuff. And why would he? They're not going to tell him who they're getting their information from and how to conduct their investigation. Like, it's ridiculous. So, of course, they're not going to provide him with all the information, and they're not going to provide the defense with all the information either. So it's a non-answerable argument, and he damn well fucking knows it. But he harped on about it. And it's that kind of shit that annoys me. It's the smoke and mirrors. It's the deflection away from. It's the insinuation. It's the misrepresentation of shit. You know, he knew. He fucking knew the date of that invoice and the date that bill was paid. And it was clearly 3 weeks after the trial had ended. Now, regardless of how that transpired, to me, it makes no difference because the report itself was done prior to the defense being aware of it, even. They didn't even know it had been done. It had been requested by the Department of Justice, and then once the report was finished, they had offered that report to both parties equally. And of course, the Commonwealth's not going to use it. It says exactly the opposite of what they're claiming. So why would they have a relationship with them? And at some point during that into that trial, and they've ended their contract with them, there must have been a layover where fees owed, you know, for travel expenses and hotels, whatever. Who fucking cares? It does not change her guilt or innocence at the end of the day, because they only testified to what was on the report, and no harm, no foul. Whereas things like, you know, Hank trying to suppress the manner of death or the cause of death on the medical certificate because it says undetermined and not homicide. That's misleading. Prejudicial. It's a fucking fact. And then doesn't want to call the medical examiner. And then argues about, now, if we're going to tell the truth, we need to tell the whole truth, not a bit of it. Hang on a fucking second. What did you just do? It's driving me insane. Insane. And I think that he's trying to waste as much of her money. He's trying to create as much doubt in their credibility in any way he can, regardless if he knows that it's damn well right or wrong. That's why he didn't put the date on there, because had he put the date on there, he would have had to have fessed up to it. And everyone said, oh, what, he admitted it afterwards. And, well, okay. He came back and he said, and it was only after Bev had said that, she really needed to take some time and there could be some serious repercussions. Did he pipe up and say, oh, Your Honour, there's some chronological issues I need to discuss? Really? That one. That one. Yes, he's just trying to waste money now, divert attention away from their lack of a prosecution strategy, and focusing on discrediting and undermining and manipulating everyone involved. The defense, the public, everything. He knew dangling a carrot like that would absolutely set the media on fire, and then uses it to his advantage, but then tries to prevent, like, to cut the legs off the defense at the same time. And I just don't. I just can't. I just be honest. Just be fucking. Just fight a legal fight, not fucking bullshit. Because a lot of people have told me that most trials are won in the pre-trial, pre-motions phase, because that's where, if you're adept, assertive, I don't know, enough, you can argue the legal. And yes, some things are more prejudicial than probative. It goes without saying. But the medical examiner's manner of death. Now, the last couple of motions he's put out in the last couple of days, he actually wants the transcripts from the documentary series that Karen did, from the production team. And he has added all of the defense team onto his witness list. All of them. How's that going to work? Are they not allowed to be in the courtroom? Judge Canoni has no control over that courtroom whatsoever. Whatsoever. I missed that bit. What you like say? That's what I call my reference to Turtle Boy. Targets are sending you the wrong image, wrong message. Yeah, hit that like. Hit that like. I've been watching some YouTube videos on how to get more. So I don't know what has happened, but the last 2 months, I think I've gained like 12 subscribers. 12. And I don't understand. So I've been picking everyone's brain and watching all these videos, and they're saying, SE optimize this and do that and blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't know. But, yeah. It just seems to be the closer that you get to the 1,000, the slower YouTube must do something just to squeeze that last bit of effort out, because I've got until the end of April, I think, before my 12 months is up. Oh dear. We'll get there. We'll get there. Oh, the other thing I was going to say was, even if they were paid, well, they were paid by the defence, but later, I mean, it didn't matter because the report had already been done. So they had no say whatsoever of what went into that, and what information was provided to them to go into that. So that makes no difference to me. But then what is, he's been paid $225,000 to come in and do this job when there's plenty of other people more than capable of doing it. And does that mean that he's then biased against the defense? Like, every trial has expert witnesses. Every trial, the defense team have to pay for an expert witness. Every trial, the prosecution has to pay for one. That's their skills. That's their job, and they're entitled to be paid. It doesn't mean that there is bias attached every time. And if there is, it equals itself out with both sides having experts to testify. But the fact that they have gone to the lengths of spending that much money on a special prosecutor tells me that they have no intention of, they doubled down and they're digging their heels in because they have to. Yeah, they should find their own experts, find the ones that they think are the most qualified to argue and to present the facts and in the light most favourable to them, I would assume, and let them have at it. They're experts. That's their job. What's this? There has to be a line in the sand. And this is where evidence and facts get tossed around and drawn from the judicial hat and then misrepresented by people that are paid more money than the rest of everyone else. Done that bit. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother going into that again. That's just Department of Justice. Yeah, I've done that. Done the markers. Yeah. Can you tell I'm tired today? So pretty much my belief is that he's, instead of focusing on bolstering his case and double checking the evidence and making sure that everything, all the ducks in a row, so to speak. That's probably not the best phrasing, but instead he has pretty much got, okay, what's their top 5 threats to them actually being believable, and just go at them. Just go at them for whatever way he can. A 2-day voir dire on Dr. Russell, and then expects to get Crosby in, and does, without any I had this stream going through my head all afternoon, and I'm watering the garden. I'm like, just listen, and I've gotten to this part of the day, and I'm just like, I really want to go to bed, and I'm going to be fine. I've hit my wall now. And I feel like I've been doing nothing but saying the same thing in my head all day, because if you hadn't noticed, my brain does not shut off. Does not shut off. That's why I'm late every time, because I go, right, have I done that? Have I done that? Have I done that? No, I need to do that so that when I get off, I can, go brush my teeth, get into bed, go to sleep. I don't have to do this. And then I'll think of something. Oh, fuck. I haven't fed the cat. Oh, fuck. And then you add my social, my isolation and my social anxiety to it. And it's not too bad when you're, on a camera. It took me a while to get over that being on camera, but it's still that time constraint, that restrictive time thing. And my body does not respond the way my brain does. It's 10 feet behind. And it's so fucking frustrating because the more I hurry, the more uncoordinated I get, the more things I drop, the more mess I make, the more it's not worth it. I can't risk rushing it because that's when I'll end up hurting myself. And so I just have to do it. And I, no joke, I allocate at least 2 hours for me to get myself my shit together to get out here in front of the camera. And that's without any stream planning shit. That's just purely getting this. It's fucked. It's really fucked. Especially when it takes you 20 minutes to try and put your hair in a fucking ponytail because your hands will not work to twist the lacquer band. And by the time you've done it, your shoulders are burning, absolutely burning, and then you're in pain, so you're dripping with sweat. So if you've put your makeup on, forget it, you got to do it again. It's fucked. It's really fucked. So, but, and I just have to do it. I just have to listen to my body because, when I had a few days off a couple of weeks ago, I was actually in the beginnings of an Addisonian crisis. So that's pretty fucking serious. Luckily, I nipped it in the bud. Luckily. But and I said to Tanya, because she'd taken me down to the emergency department, and I literally could not keep my eyes open. Like, even the effort to talk was a lot. I couldn't even lift my head. I was just like, and that's because I wasn't absorbing the cortisone, because I worked myself up into this such an anxious state, because I've been arguing with the NDEIS still here. So that's the other thing that it drains me. But yeah, I'd worked myself up, that caused somewhat of a tummy upset, so to speak. So the old absorption of the oral cortisone did not occur, and that's not good for me. Not at all. Oh, God. Good Lord. There's lots of U's on my page. Hang on, I got to read through them. YouTube, when you say that, what? Hit the like. That's where I was up to. What? How did ARCA discredit themselves, misleading the court? Huh? And what's that got to do with? How's that tied into Karen reversing her car? Like, oh, I need to reverse my car so that I can get Special Prosecutor Brennan to come in. And I don't get it. I don't get it. She does not go easy on the defense. They didn't lie. At the time that they were asked, they had not received assent from the defense. It was all to do with the date, and that's what he left up in the air. And that's exactly what he wanted to happen, was to put a seed of doubt into everyone's head and discredit them. And social media fucking ran with it. All these people clickbaiting, all the fucking, the bullshit that gets put out there. And he absolutely planned that. Absolutely let that dangle for a week just to let it smolder. Yeah, they are like insurance. No, they were getting paid. They weren't allowed. The actual part of the pre-trial stuff for the first trial were very, very strict instructions on what could and couldn't be said about who they worked for, how they were, how they became involved in the case. They actually, like both sides they were not allowed to say anything whatsoever about it because the prosecution thought that was more prejudicial than probative, which, okay. So that made it really, really difficult for them to actually answer in a way that didn't look like it was misleading, because they had to try and find the right words of how to explain how they got there without being employed by the defense, without being employed by the state. And that's why the jury jumped to the conclusion that they were either Karen's insurance agents or hired by Turtle Boy, even and that was the argument that Jackson had during the week, was that because you're not being honest with the jury, then not was Jackson, it was Unetti, then that leads to rampant speculation. And even though they're told not to, it's human nature. we are curious beings. Like, we're fucking sticky noses. um, so yeah, I think it's done it all. I've lost my oomph today. Lost my oomph. But we have got some really, really exciting I have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I've got to I'm running this first trial as a sleep stream because I actually have to record it to download the transcripts and everything from it as part of a lead up to the second trial, which is going to be really exciting. So we're going to be doing a live dual stream during the day when it's live on with Miss Mandy, and then of an evening at 8 p.m. every night, we'll be doing a recap analysis podcast with Steve on the day and comparing testimonies and analysing each testimony from the first to the second. But I need all of the testimony and the transcripts in a database before we can progress. So that's what I've been doing behind the scenes. So we are going to be busy. And it's going to go for at least 6 weeks. At least 6 weeks. I don't reckon I asked Alessi in chat last night if he really thought it would take 3 weeks to seat the jury, and he said, yeah, they're all coming from out of state. So I need to go to bed. Yeah. Do you like my I've rearranged some shit in the background? I think that's what stuffed me, because it's I have to pace myself nowadays. Yeah, I moved the couch and a cabinet and rearranged all the lights and yeah, you know. All right. Well, after this, I'm going to put the sleep stream on for day 2 of trial 1. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing tomorrow. I have got so many things here that I've half done. I need to finish off. But I'll find something. I will absolutely find something. It might not be a trial, but it will definitely be something. I think we need something light-hearted. Something. Hubby's home today, so we are. Ah, cool. Shit up. What colour? Thank you. I moved to the couch and put some lights down it, and I got one of my plants, and then one of my cats went up there and knocked all the cat statues off the fucking thing. Beige, nude, eggshell, cream. Are you going to have a feature wall or anything, Tricia? I love feature walls. In fact, I love, like, what's coming back in fashion now is the wallpaper feature wall. Like some of it's got, like, it's the texturized one. Like back in the 70s. Not the paisley or any of that shit, but yeah. I love all that. Love it all. All right, so what's tomorrow, Tuesday? Now, I don't think I had a bit of a talk with Tan last week, and she struggles with Tuesdays because she has her granddaughter on Mondays, and it doesn't give her any time to prep. And I said to her the other day, well, look, April is going to be just revolting for me, being, doing a full stream all day and then a podcast at 8 p.m. every day. I said, do you mind if we give it a miss? And, like, put it on the back burner until after this trial. Have an accent TV. Okay, cool. What color is the accent TV wall? Does that mean you have like 10 different TVs mounted on the wall and only one of them works? That's actually a good idea. You can have lots of different styles of TVs all around it instead of like a photo frame. Oh, hang on. I think I had a really, really good outro on this. Oh, it's a Clayton's prosecution is the prosecution you have when you haven't got a prosecution. We'll take this up another day, because I just don't have it in me for the fight today. I'm all bought out. Oh, sweet. I've actually made these barn doors. I got these cupboard doors, and I've the old tin signs that they used to have for like Shell and all that sort of stuff. I collected a heap of those, and I've stuck them all to these 2 barn doors. And I have waited 2 years for someone to actually put the fucking things up for me. And you think someone has? No. And it's because one side of the doorway is wooden and the other side of the doorway is a metal post. They either bring a drill for wood. It doesn't work with that. I don't know. You just go. That's my technical term. All right. We'll throw a couple of hay bales down the side and you can have yourselves a yarn in front of the telly, eh? All right, my lovelies, this stream will direct you to the next one. You don't have to watch it. It's just that I had no one else to send it to but myself. Actually, I don't even know what time I set it for. Oops. Oh, check that. Has it started? Oh dear. 2:30. Oh, 6 minutes over. All right. Gotta go. I'm running late for my stream. Something different. All right. Be good. No, don't be good. Get at it.
Hey there, thanks for stopping in. We hope you will join us again. We all look forward to next time. We get to talk about true crime. Clues. Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule and the defense rests. Our true crime family is great. All types of topics we debate. Smash that like and ring that bell. Hit subscribe, you might as well.